the facilities maintenance world, I was waking up at 4 or 5 a.m., leaving before my newborn son. Arrogant as that was, took something that I believed if I was having trouble with, it's going to be a difficult thing for other people to grasp. I was worried about a recession at the time, but also I chose HVAC specifically because how and why did I go from Napa, California to Nashville, Tennessee, from a good paying W-2 job to a life of entrepreneurship and kind of instability to some extent? And it's just a different world. The short answer is a little bit was COVID driven, but mostly it was driven by the need of a new family. So I remember my hour-long drive to work every morning and back to get to the wineries that I was managing. And I would listen to a lot of podcasts. And I think one of the first ones I listened to was Buy Then Build, which then led me to Brent Bashorn on Twitter and learning about kind of acquisition entrepreneurship and what goes in behind that. But that really wasn't the driver that pushed me over the edge. The driver that pushed me over the edge was in the facilities maintenance world. I was waking up at 4 or 5 a.m., leaving before my newborn son would get up in the morning, and then I wouldn't get home till after he was in bed at 7, 8 at night. And I said, this isn't how I want to live my life. I don't want to live my life where I never see my children. We made a big decision. Simultaneously, I was also running the Bitcoin mining farm, which I ended up selling for lots of money. But realistically, it allowed me to take those 2 years off and step back and say, hey, what kind of business do I want to own? And I knew I wanted to be in home services. So I wanted to be in home services, one, because for me, it was one of the most recession-resistant businesses. In my opinion, maybe a wrong opinion, yell at me later, but if I have the option to clean my pool or cut my grass or have cooling in my house or having a toilet that works, I'm going with the toilet, I'm going with the HVAC. And so that's why I specifically looked at those businesses and chose those businesses, because I was worried about a recession at the time. But also I chose HVAC specifically because as I was in facilities maintenance for these wineries, we had monstrous cooling we had $178 million worth of wine under refrigeration at any point in time. And I subbed out all of that work to a third-party commercial refrigeration company. We did all of our own plumbing. We did all of our own woodworking and carpentry. We had a whole metal shop. Like, we did everything on that winery. We ran pumps, we did, mechanical stuff. But at the end of the day, the only thing I had to sub out, because I didn't understand, one, the theory behind it, and two, how the systems work, was refrigeration. And so as, arrogant as that was, I took something that I believed if I was having trouble with, it's going to be a difficult thing for other people to grasp. And so that was part of the moat, is if I'm having trouble understanding it, other people are going to have trouble understanding it. And still to this day, refrigeration theory is a difficult thing for a lot of people, and I think it was a good choice, and I still stand by that. But that's how I went down that route. I was lucky enough to be able to drive around the country and find different spaces. We went to Texas and looked at refrigeration companies. I did a lot in Tennessee. I'm surprised when I look back at it. I actually had 4 or 5 different LOIs that I sent out to people. I didn't get accepted, but a few refrigeration companies that are now competitors I actually tried to buy at one point. Very interesting stuff. But that's how I got started, and I know that that's kind of the similar thought and mind process for a lot of people in framework. And if you're wondering, well, Jack, did that actually happen? The answer is yes. Don't get me wrong, I work way more hours now than I do then, but I have breakfast with my family every morning. And that was my choice. That was my sacrifice. I wanted to see them and eat breakfast with them in the morning, and I want to most of the time try and eat dinner with them at night. And so been successful, and hopefully continues to be.